Alright, got a quick UX demo and design review of immersive aspects of SeeSignal here. First of all, it's kind of visible here through the video that these lines in these boxes, they could be a little bit thicker. They got some moire effect, some kind of patterning going on, but just because they're so thin, mixing between the white and the gray backgrounds. You can see that with some of the X here, with the next button. Another thing about the text here, could maybe use a little bit more spacing between the gray area and the text. I noticed that these boxes, it's kind of hard to see here, but the radius of them is not quite rounded. I think there's some adjustments that you can make in Unity to get those boxes to be the correct geometry to have fully rounded corners, make it just a little bit cleaner there. This first screen has text that's kind of in non-caps casing. The rest of these, it's a little bit less readable to have the all caps. It might go better if it was just the same casing as that original screen of the tutorial. One thing with the HUD is that this text up here, it could be tilted a little bit more towards the user's eye. It's just a little bit tough to read when it's facing kind of down at an angle here rather than toward the screen of the user's plane of view. Kind of symmetrically crossed of an X shape, that would be a slight improvement there for that demarcator. The X here, it looks like it's a X character. We could use a little bit more crossed. Now, this is explained in the app or in the tutorial here that the exit will take you out of the app. But it could be maybe explained here that exit will be exit the application instead of just exit the menu. Exit the settings menu, just for users that maybe get to the settings menu before getting to this screen. For example, if they float open, look here, hit that before they get to this one here that explains that, and then they exit the app, kind of not understanding why maybe. Or just in the future if they forget that. Just a little bit more clear explanation. Exit app maybe. Okay, this might be a little bit of a personal preference thing, but I like the HUD adjusted almost all the way out. Makes it a little bit easier to see. And the further out you go with it, the more it becomes obvious that the Wi-Fi indicator should be tilted a little bit more towards the user's eye. It could just cause a little bit of eye strain trying to look up to read that. Now, I prefer the density to be way up here. If it was even more, that would be great. That's kind of follows the demo video that I made of the mesh grid structure. Kind of gets the idea. One thing with the density on the settings menu here is that maybe it could include a label of what the unit means, or maybe just disclude the unit if it's just a arbitrary number. Now, with the sticks, this works pretty well. This pop-up little item coming out of the stick and back into it. With a little bit larger object, a node can become occluded, so you might want to have it just come out a little bit further here, or also maybe to just have it start popping out in the empty space rather than from the center, vertical center of this item. Works all right for actually works kind of best for the sphere node. One note in the settings menu here is that set the shape of each signal stick to be cubes, tall cubes, or spheres. Can maybe change the language here to be set the shape of each signal node to be cubes, sticks, or spheres, instead of calling them tall cubes and then giving it just a general term for what the center of a data point is in the space. With the HUD here, Another usability, kind of readability thing would be to maybe give a black border to this white text that's on yellow, just to make it a little bit more legible. With some of the node shapes, like it doesn't happen with the sticks. They have lighting kind of from all angles, but with the cube, there's a shadow. So could be good to have some universal lighting rather than it looks like top lighting in the space. Another note about the tutorial here is that it could do to have some titling maybe for each of these sections, some numbering maybe to for in between them, between back and next, maybe that this is the first tutorial screen or UI element, like second, third, fourth, and then to maybe have some images kind of posted up in there with it, indicating some different things that it's trying to point out. Now, one kind of strange thing to notice or to note is that these overlays of the hands, they'll create some transparent layers when they're on the menu, either of the menus, or this one here, you can kind of see through the menu a little bit. We might just want to render the hands last so that they're always on top of whatever menu in the render layers. It could also be good to have just a little bit louder click noise with some of these menu click audio effects.